Good day. Thank you for tuning in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. For all of our new listeners and viewers who are tuning in for the very first time, I'm Pastor Pope, and I know it looks different today because we are not broadcasting from my home studio, which is sponsored by Fiji Water. We are in the sanctuary at New Life Christian Center, 400 Hillcrest Avenue, Wilmington, Delaware, 19809, and we are live with Mount Pleasant students from our Achievers Academy. Welcome them in if you'll give them a round of applause just for joining in today. Can you? Yes. We are excited to have the students from our Achievers Academy at Mount Pleasant High School with us today. And as always, this broadcast is brought to you by Fiji Water, Earth's finest water. You may already know that Fiji water comes from Fiji. However, did you know that it is created by nature? It is untouched by man. It starts as a tropical rainfall which slowly filters through layers of volcanic rock where the water collects in a natural, sustainable artesian aquifer where it is bottled right at the source, free from human contact until you unscrew this blue cap. Fiji Water, Earth's finest water, will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery, and you'll save money at FijiWater.com. And I want to say to all of our listeners and viewers, we're excited to have you with us today. And with us, our first student who is going to be interviewed and be with us today. Would you? Can you hit 23 and 24 for me, please? There we are. And can we check? And would you introduce yourself today?
Yes. My name is Sunny. I'm part of the Achievers Academy at Mount Pleasant High School, and I'm in 11th grade.
And Sunny, we are delighted to have you with us on the broadcast today, and all of our listeners and viewers are excited to have you. So I want you to do something for us. I want you to tell us a little bit about yourself. I want you to tell us what's important to you as you move forward in your, not only in your academic studies in high school, but as you prepare for college. Have you decided where you're going to go to college yet? Always talking to the mic.
I'm still deciding.
Okay. Any thoughts on some of them then?
Yes. Howard and Fannie.
Okay. I didn't know that because we've had that conversation before, but I want to say this. Have you really considered what you're going to pursue as a career?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Share with the listeners and viewers.
I want to be a lawyer. I'm still undecided on what exact kind of lawyer I want to be. But as far as right now, the research that I've done, I want to be a criminal justice lawyer.
Okay, and so I want to say this. Sunny is an excellent student, as all of the students that are with us today are really performing at a high level academically, so we just want to encourage them in what they want to do. Now, you said you want to practice law, and there's many types of law, obviously, to practice. There's corporate law, there's criminal law, there's prosecution. Have you given any thought as to what field you're going to pursue?
Not really, no. I'm
Okay.
still trying to figure it out.
You doing any research?
Yes, I actually have been. I looked into real estate,
Yes.
family law as well, but as far as that's all.
Excellent, excellent. So the goal is that here at our Achievers Academy is to make certain that students have the opportunity to go on college tours. As some of you already know, we want to make certain that they continue to perform at a high level, and anything that we can do to assist them. As you know, Dr. Turner's here with me today also, but he's making certain that our technology functions at a high level. So he'll be with us on the air shortly. Many of you are familiar with him because you've seen him on air before. But Sunny, we're delighted that you shared with all of our listeners and viewers what you're going to do with your career moving forward. So thank you for being with us today, and we're going to call up the next student to share with us. And I want to say to all of our listeners and viewers, you know, the important thing to remember is when you're working with students, you want to make certain that they have capacity to build on everything that they desire to accomplish in life. We'll talk about that a little further in the broadcast. And with us right now, if you'll introduce yourself to the listening and viewing audience, Peyton, that would be delightful.
Hi, my name is Peyton. I'm a junior at Mount Pleasant High School here. I'm part of the Achievers Academy.
And you've been with us since middle school.
Yes.
Yes, and so I want to ask you to share with our listening and viewing audience what you're doing right now, because you're involved in a lot of things, you're engaged in a lot of things. So share with them that before we get into career choices.
in school, I'm currently a part of BSU. I'm also a junior class treasurer, and I'm a part of Children's Academy and BSD, student advisor.
Excellent, excellent. So have you thought about career choices, what you're going to be doing moving forward in your career?
Yeah, so outside of school, I do enjoy dancing, so I do want to pursue that as a career, and I also want to pursue a career in finance. And in college, I want to major in family financial management.
Excellent. So, you and I have had brief conversations about that because I'm a finance guy. So I'm excited that you've chosen to go into that field. And one of the things that we've encouraged Peyton also is that, in the state of Delaware at 18 years of age and a high school diploma, you can get a real estate license. And you're able to really begin a career in real estate. But it's something we're encouraging her to do long term also, in addition to all that she is interested in pursuing in finance. So that is exciting. You have a lot of activities, but you're performing academically. Nothing is going to replace effort. You can have talent, you can be intelligent, but there's nothing that is going to replace effort. And when you give 100% of the time, you're going to be successful. The goal for all of us is to maximize our success, right? And watching all of these young people, these amazing young people, just give effort at a high level every single day and perform at a high level every single day is exciting to us all. So thank you for coming up and sharing this morning. You're going to come up? Oh, Ethan, yes. So Ethan, introduce yourself first of all. Yes.
My name is Ethan. I've been in the Children's Academy since the 6th grade, and I'm a junior at Mount Pleasant.
And Ethan, if you will, share with our listening and viewing audience what you participate in at Mount Pleasant also.
So right now I'm the head of the writing department for our Youth Saber Club, and I'm a veteran member of the Mount Pleasant Marching Band. I've been there all 4 years old. I will be next year, because I've done 3 years, and I'm going to be my 4th one too.
And you will be a rising senior next year, so that's excellent. And you also are involved in journalism.
Yes.
So tell us what that looks like for you.
So for me, journalism, it's about writing about things that are either relevant or important to you. So what I like to do is I tend to write about topics that I'll see on news websites like CNN, and I'll look into them, I'll see how relevant they are to certain groups of people, and I'll just write about them. I'll do some research, I'll get some citations, and I'll just put something together that people can read in about 2 or 3 minutes, and they can say, I learned something from that. That's what I did.
Excellent, excellent. So it's very exciting that Ethan's involved in journalism. Obviously even doing broadcasts and podcasts like this is part of the modern day journalism, but you have been published also in the newspaper.
Yeah, I have, right now I have 4 articles under my belt. I'm planning to write at least 1 more my senior year, but I have 4 out right now. All about 1 to 2 minute reads, and they're published by me. Well, by school, but I've written them all. Yeah.
And you've been on the Harvard tour before.
Twice, yes.
So tell the listening and viewing audience what that was like for you, that experience.
The Harvard tour was a really enlightening experience. We get to go on campus. First of all, we get a nice coach bus. It's a nice little bus ride there. And then you get to meet a couple of students from Harvard, and they walk us around the campus, so we get some time to explore the campus on our own. It's a very big, expensive place. It's definitely well decorated. The buildings are beautiful. It's always sunny out there. There's a bunch of places to get food. It's a wonderful time. And I learned a lot about things like financial aid and how students are. What do they do there?
Excellent, excellent. So I want to make sure all of our listeners and viewers know what's going on here today because the setting is different. So the students came today to actually volunteer at our public charity, our New Life Food Source Pantry, where they bagged up food for those that will be coming on Thursday to pick up food, those who just need a little help, and they came to do that today. And so we're excited to have them here with us. And then we had lunch together and we're able to chat. And now they're participating in the broadcast because this is something that is important to address issues of life. But today, even though it's a little different, we want to hear from these young people, all of the things that they're going to pursue. So what is going to be your career pursuit?
So my ideal career would be a career in journalism. Like you probably gather, I'm a very passionate writer. I love to write, and I want to be able to make a job out I'll probably go into some sort of like engineering field. I could see myself as an electrical engineer because I've taken a couple years engineering and I'm sort of interested in it, so I could do that. But the main goal is journalism.
Okay, excellent. And thank you for sharing all of that with our listening and viewing audience today. Good to have you here.
Thank you.
And you're coming up? So we're letting some of the students just take the opportunity to share with all of our listening and viewing audience what they are going to pursue as they move forward in the future. So would you introduce yourself to the listening and viewing audience?
Hi, my name is India Lyle, and I'm a freshman at Mount Pleasant.
And India, you were with us in middle school also?
Yes.
And so tell all of our listening and viewing audience what you are going to pursue as a career.
I want to be a juvenile defense lawyer.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, so we're gonna talk a little further about that just in a moment, but I do need to take a break to do a little business for our sponsors. This segment of the broadcast coming up is going to be brought to you by T-Mobile, America's largest and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. So if you're not currently a T-Mobile customer, you may call or text on the T-Mobile caller text line at 267-992-1424. We will move you into our queue so that you have the opportunity to become a T-Mobile customer and experience America's largest and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. So India, tell our listening and viewing audience what inspired you to pursue being a advocate for young people.
Because it's like a lot of people my age, especially like people of my race, like just being wrong and convicted for stuff that they didn't do just because they're African American, and I don't think that's right. And I want to stand up and fight for what I know is right.
So you want to do something about it, and that's real important. So have you decided where you would like to go to college?
I want to go to Harvard. I mean, no, Howard. Yeah, Howard.
Howard University? Okay. Well, you know, we love Harvard. That's, but Howard's an excellent school, and they have an excellent law school, and we've talked about that before, so you're quite aware of that.
Yes.
Yes, that is excellent. And so thank you for sharing with our listening and viewing audience. Come on up.
Just first names only, no last names?
Like, what was my first name?
Yes.
Okay.
Would you introduce yourself to our listening and viewing audience?
Hello, my name is Vanya, and I am a freshman at Mount Pleasant High School.
Yes. And Vanya, share some of the activities that you're involved in.
I guess my main extracurricular that I participate in is the BSC Lifesavers program, which is an after-school nursing program for all the high schools and middle schools.
Because you want to pursue a field in nursing.
Yes.
What inspired you to pursue that field?
I guess my whole life, my mom just said do something like either a lawyer in healthcare and stuff, so it's always been like a vision to do either. And obviously nursing is a part of healthcare, so
Yes.
it was just, I guess, destined, I don't know.
And it is an excellent career. And one thing I always say is that when you pursue nursing, you're going to have a successful career because people are always going to become ill, and people are always want to be cared for because they want to be well. So, what are some of the other activities that you enjoy?
I do like running all year round. I do cross country and then indoor and outdoor track, and I obviously do this club, and sometimes I usually just do sports because I don't have time to go to other clubs. But I'm an avid in IB at Mount, so that takes up time.
Excellent, excellent. So you said you're a runner.
Yeah.
Okay, and you run track and cross country. What events do you run?
I usually they usually put me in the 4x8 and then the miles, and I guess sometimes I'll do hurdles. Depends what they need or what they want me to do.
Excellent, excellent. So is anything else you'd like to share with our listeners and viewers about what you want to pursue in the future, what you want to accomplish in the future?
I just feel like obviously nursing
is helping people and stuff like that, but I guess I'm more interested in working in the NICU just because it sucks that you already have to have like a bad start at life and need to have, all these tubes inside of you. And it's hard for like the mom and stuff like that to watch their kid undergo all of this, so I just kind of want to be there.
Excellent, excellent. Well, thank you for sharing with our listeners and viewers. You did an excellent job also. Come on up. Would you introduce yourself to our listeners and viewers?
Okay. Hi guys, my name is Dakota, and I'm in 9th grade, and I go to North Pleasant High School.
So would you share with our listeners and viewers what you participate in high school? What activities you're involved in?
Okay. Currently, I was in SVA, but it's kind of over. I still in mainly.
Okay. Have you decided what you want to pursue as a career? Have you thought about what you want to pursue as a career?
Yes, I want to become a social worker.
Okay. And what inspired that?
Because I just want to help people, like kids mostly because they're innocent, and I feel like if you have a chance to like help people, why not?
Excellent, excellent. One of the things that's very interesting is that life is really about helping others. It really isn't about ourselves. And contrary to popular belief, a lot of people think that life is really just about themselves. And we all want to build a great quality of life. We have to focus on working to that end. But you do that so that you have the opportunity to help others. And so hearing you say that is quite profound. So thank you for sharing that. Would you come up? And would you introduce yourself to our listening and viewing audience?
Hi, my name is Sinai. I'm a 9th grader at Mount Pleasant High School.
Okay, and would you share some of the activities that you're involved in?
Well, the only activities I'm really involved in at Mount is cheer and obviously Student Academy.
Okay, so have you decided on what you're going to pursue as a career?
I don't know what type of career I want to do, but I know I want to major in either like criminology or criminal justice.
Okay, and what inspired that passion?
Because I really like to learn a lot about crime and like how the justice system works.
Okay, which sometimes is not always balanced, right?
Yeah.
Everyone remembers that Lady Justice has a blindfold, right? And the scale's uneven, right? Because nothing's perfect. But the fact that you want to participate in the system to help balance some things out is extremely important. So thank you for sharing that. Anything else you'd like to share with our listening and viewing audience? Well, we're happy to have you here today. Would you introduce yourself to our listening and viewing audience?
My name is London, and I'm in 9th grade at Mount Pleasant.
Okay, so share with us the activities you're involved in.
I play on our girls volleyball team, and I was a manager for boys basketball and boys volleyball.
Okay, and what's your career choice for the future?
I either want to be like an orthodontist or a dermatologist.
Okay, so you're going to go into some form of healthcare. All right, so once again, you're helping people because that's important, right? What inspired you to pursue those particular?
I used to have braces, and like when I would go to get them tightened or stuff, it was like just really interesting to me, and I like took interest in that career. And then I also want to be but I might want to be a dermatologist because I have acne and stuff, and I also want to help people who have problems that I also have.
Mm-hmm. That's excellent. So I like the fact that you're very confident about what you want to do to impact the lives of others. So I'm always excited anytime someone is focused on impacting someone else's life, because that's significant in the culture in which we live. We all have to be participants. We can't be spectators of the culture in which we live, right? We have to be able to participate in some form. So thank you for sharing that. and you're going to introduce yourself to our listeners and viewers.
Hi, my name's Aster, and I'm a 9th grader at Mount Pleasant.
Okay, and what activities do you pursue at Mount Pleasant?
I'm in Key Club, SBA, and Achievers Academy.
And what have you decided for a career choice?
I'm not really sure about that yet, but I want to help people. Maybe a nurse, but not sure.
Okay, so once again, the theme is helping others, right? And as I mentioned earlier, all the students that have come today are here because they wanted to help with the food pantry, preparing for those who are going to be picking up food on Thursday from our food pantry. And hearing all of you say that you want to do something that's going to have an impact on our society really is important to me because, and I know to Dr. Turner, because you're giving of yourself. You're going to build great lives for yourself, but you're giving of yourselves, and that's extremely important. And knowing that we're going to hand off to society to all of you, I feel like we're in a good place. So thank you for sharing that. Dr. Turner, would you come up, please? And then what we'll do is Dr. Turner's going to share with us his thoughts on today and all of what you students are planning for the future. And Doc, would you?
Well, this opportunity to be here today is absolutely student-driven. And certainly by you, Pastor Pope.
Well, thank you, sir.
So I think you all need to give yourselves a big round of applause.
Absolutely.
The students that you all heard from today are very humble, but they were very intent on taking this opportunity. They knew that they were coming here to serve. They knew that they were going to have the opportunity to speak, and they did it, and they were very interested in having this opportunity. So I think you all just need to remember in life, and I think this goes for anybody who's watching, that if you really want something, you just have to continue to be an advocate for yourself and communicate your interests, and it's possible. So I'm glad that I was just a part of it, and I'm happy to be here.
So Doc, just so that all of our listeners and viewers who may have missed you previously when you were with me on Sundays, share with our listening and viewing audience your role as a guidance counselor at Mount Pleasant and share a little bit.
At Mount Pleasant High School, I'm a school counselor for students with last names through C, but essentially at Mount Pleasant, this kind of do, we serve whomever we can, whoever needs support. So that's my role. So as a school counselor, there's the college and career component, there's a social and emotional component, there's certainly a course selection component, and then there's just general safety and security stuff. So it's a great job. It's a good school, and it's an excellent opportunity for me to have impact on the lives of young people. I'm fortunate to actually have 2 students here today who I had direct contact with their parents, and so it's just astounding that I have seen generations go through with success. And I'm looking forward to, as Pastor Pope shared earlier, seeing this group take the baton and go further. So I mean, I think that's what the hope is from generation to generation, that one group has success and then the next group comes and stands on the shoulders of those who came before them.
So I will also say to our listeners and viewers, Doctor, I got to tell you, Doc, it's a blessing to have you with us often. Dr. Turner's whole family, as I mentioned to the students today, have come and served relentlessly. They've given of themselves to serve in the food pantry, to just help facilitate what we do. And we do it together as we do the Achievers Academy every week together. And I am just privileged to serve with you, these young students. But I want you and I to take a moment, if we will, to just talk with the students for a moment and let our listening and viewing audience hear. We had an interesting conversation over lunch about education and about whose responsibility. Vanya shared something with me that previously about a debate that was being held at school. And the topic was, are the educators responsible for students performing and graduating? And help me out, Vanya, if I made a mistake here.
Yeah, you're right. It's either teachers or all our students.
Yes, or are the students responsible for their own education? And so we had a discussion about that. And one of the things that I love about what we experience in the Achievers Academy is that you're all very thoughtful. You're thinking about the present and the future. We live in the present, but we have to plan and develop for the future. And so, there was dialogue about, educators versus students being responsible for their education. And we shared the thoughts on that. The reality is that, once again, I go back to effort, right? Nothing's going to beat effort. As long as we put in effort, we're going to accomplish what we set out to accomplish, and we just have to keep working at it. And one thing I love, and I know I'm kind of rambling, but one thing I love is that all of you are giving so much effort. You're giving effort in everything you do, and you're seeing the world through a different lens than many are looking through their own eyes. You're seeing what the possibilities are for the future, and you're seeing what as Dr. Turner said, you're seeing what is possible. And now you are working towards that end. So we're really excited about your lives. I know I'm kind of speaking for Doc on that also, but we're excited about your lives. And I know that Dr. Turner shared with you all, and I know this from a fact. He's been working in education in the school district for 20 years. And we've been operating the Achievers Academy for 20 years. So this is a journey of love. It's a long journey that we're on with all of you students. And the reward is someday that we'll see you all graduate from college. We'll see you all go on your careers. We'll see you all, have the success in life that all of you desire. And so I want to thank you all for being here today. Doc, anything you want to add? It's a little overwhelming.
That popped into my head is with the group we have today, they all individually have found methods to help them be successful. And as I look at them, I think about some study in the morning, some study in the evening. Some use flashcards, some use Quizlet, some. It's just a lot of different techniques. Some listen to music, some don't. Some like to work in groups, some like to work alone. So I think the point I'm trying to make is that's the journey of life. Kind of figuring out what works for you to be successful, and you use it, and you learn how to learn, and that's just a reality that everybody encounters. Today, Pastor Pope was working with me in the back on some of the technology pieces, and it was like, you got to figure this out. How to do it, otherwise no one's going to get a broadcast. So that's just life. So the faster we are able to learn, the more we're able to do, and that makes life enjoyable.
Absolutely. So is there anyone that wants to add anything before we close out for today? Doc will bring the microphone to you so you don't have to get up. Peyton, anything you want to add? Go. Yeah.
Come on up.
just to close out, I want to say I really appreciate what people like what Pastor Pope are doing, because Pastor Pope, I can tell he really cares about, people. He goes out of his way to set the food pantry, he goes out of his way to set the Achievers Academy. And I can tell he really wants all of us in this room to succeed and be somebody, and I really appreciate having someone like that in my life. It means more to me than anything he could ever know.
Well, thank you for the kind words, and it's a pleasure being with all of you on a continuous basis, and I look forward to all that we will be doing in the future together. Today's Daily Divine Direction broadcast, this segment of the broadcast has been brought to you by